We all set there? All set. Okay, here we go.
Sir.
It's nice to see you all here today on this snowy evening.
Yep.
How was, did they? Is that what it was? All right.
No one has kids here.
All right. This is the Plan Commission meeting to be held Tuesday, January 9th, 2024 at 6 p.m. The meeting is called to order. Would you please call the roll?
Alderperson Kastner.
Present.
Steve Rogers. Brian Weiss.
Present.
Don Carlson. Zach Marshall.
Here.
Bob Krenz.
Present.
Mike Braswell.
Present.
Daniel Wojak.
Present.
Mayor Knightsky.
Present. Neal and Mike are alternate members and can't vote this evening, but can engage in discussion. We have a full house down there. Thank you all for making it. Item 2, approval of the December 12th, 2023 minutes. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Carlson. Is there a second?
Second that.
Second by Commissioner Rogers. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, discussion of the last common council meeting.
We did not have any public hearings. However, on the agenda was a purchase and sale agreement, and the common council approved it for Spring Mall. They selected the Mandel Group to move forward. Closing is scheduled for the end of October.
After their due diligence. Item 4A and 4B is special use permit and a site landscaping and architectural plans for Scooter's Coffee located at 4160 West Loomis Road.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This item was before the Plan Commission a few months ago for a conceptual review, and I will try not to be too repetitive. Not much has changed at all. What the applicant, Mr. Chur, is doing is proposing the demolition of the Crossroads Diner, complete demolition and construction of a 678 square foot coffee kiosk building. The property is zone C2 and a special use permit and a public hearing would be required. It could be scheduled as early as February 21st. The proposed hours of operation are 6 to 8 every day. There would be no public access to the kiosk building. It's just for staff only to be inside the building, no seating or anything. So what they've done is propose the building to be located here along Loomis Road, and the DOT, if you may recall, is closing the existing drive along Loomis, and there's an existing drive along 43rd Street. The proposal is to close that and shift it further west, closer to the very western property line. The request includes a setback waiver for the front yard, and then 7 parking spaces are required, 7 are provided, and also a new 6-foot wood fence would go along the western property line, which is a residential property. One of the conditions staff has asked, and I've spoken with the architect, is that 6-foot fence just taper down in height as you get closer to 43rd, just to avoid obstruction for view because you have vehicles exiting so close to the property line here along the west. The landscaping plan's been submitted and reviewed by our city forester. Small request is just smaller, maybe two ornamental trees go along Loomis and then 2 along 43rd, as there's no landscaping along the perimeter. I understand it's a small building. We don't want to screen the building, so that's why we asked for just smaller ornamental trees, nothing that's going to block the building from view. And then just as a reminder, the DOT is making median adjustments this year, so that if you are going if you are going east on 43rd, you will no longer be able to turn left or go north on Loomis. And if you're exiting this driveway here on the east side of Loomis, you will no longer be able to turn left or go south towards Loomis to make the intersection a lot safer, which should also eliminate a lot of the backup that you typically see on 43rd Street because people will no longer be able to turn left or go north on Loomis. They'll be forced to make a right turn only off of 43rd onto Loomis Road. A photometric plan was submitted as part of the package. There will be 3 new light poles internally in the site, indicated with the purple dots here. There is a proposal for LED strip to follow the perimeter of the roof line and go down the side of, I think, maybe 2 facades of the building. And then there are a few wall packs on the building. A lot of them will be located underneath the awnings. As far as architectural design goes, we have hardy plank siding indicated by the darker gray, and then a brick veneer with the brown or tan color indicated, and then red fabric awnings. And the signage package has already been submitted, and it meets the sign code. No waiver is being requested. Staff recommends approval and the scheduling of a public hearing on February 21st.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
None.
No? Is that smiley face with the coffee cup the logo? I don't remember that one. It's cute. Makes me want a cup of coffee.
Coffee has been putting those smiley cups for a number of years. More of an identity of our.
Cute.
Make a motion for approval as presented.
Second. Second by Commissioner Weiss.
I will have to note what's on page 5 and third paragraph at the bottom. It looks like there's adequate signage. And it says applicant and his team work with staff and submitted a signage plan that meets the signage code. No waiver is needed. Thank you.
I personally would have put a sign on the south side of the building, but that's just me. All right,
you want,
motion
I
was
guess
made
you
and
can.
seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
All right, item 5 A and B is a special use review for a Sitco restaurant, limited service restaurant to be located at 5235 West Loomis. This is also site plan review.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sitco Restaurant is proposing to open up a new restaurant that used to be occupied by Subway, just kind of not necessarily a restaurant name. The gas station convenience store operator has a cook and would be serving things such as tacos, burritos. It's a pretty basic menu, an opportunity for someone to just grab some food. So this is going through the special use review process, as there has been a restaurant in this location recently and previously. Proposed hours of operation are 10 to 9 daily. The site review, staff mentioned to the operator and the applicants just some basic cleanup, get rid of the firewood as the ordinance requires, and the salt bags and that sort of thing, and he took care of it very, very quickly within a matter of a day or two. Just some other observations, the wood fence looks like it's, just been pushed from snow plows probably over the course of time. Same with the bollards that are protecting this payphone here. So we simply just ask that they be corrected and, fixed by May 31st. And otherwise, staff recommends approval. It could be expedited to the county council meeting next week.
Is that payphone operational?
I don't know.
I just asked the same question. Just curiosity.
Can we get a
I'd be
landmark?
stunned if it was.
Status for it.
Can it be removed? Very good.
They will take it away, is what you're saying? That means the Ballards probably can go too. Okay,
Save it as a historic artifact.
Yeah.
right.
He doesn't own it probably, just like our old Mom Bell stuff.
Yeah, it all goes
Ask them if they'll give it to you. I mean,
Okay.
interesting.
I believe it.
Okay. Should the
Save it
hours-
for a movie prop.
Hours of operation, 7 to 10, as opposed to the hours that you have there, just to keep it flexible in the future or not? I mean, you don't have to be open then, but just to be flexible. Changing the hours from 7 to 10 to try to be
What
consistent.
do we do with the fence that's gonna be fixed, replaced?
To be straightened and.
Yeah, we asked for it to be fixed by May 31st.
What about paint? Does it need to be?
I don't think it needs to be painted.
Was it adequate when they looked at it, is what I'm asking? Right, 'cause
Going,
it's-
sorry, I'm going the
I
wrong
think
way.
eventually it's gonna,
I think it was recently painted, yeah.
okay, okay.
This is why, unrelated to this, when we think of the design at Spring Mall and that fence that's gonna go along the entire property line, wouldn't it make a lot more sense to have a berm that is decorative, that is permanent, that's gonna last more than 25 years and,
Chain link instead, I think.
Yes.
It's-
I'm
it
kidding,
depends-
by the way.
It depends on the
I don't-
quality of the fence, I think, that goes
I
in.
don't know a fence
And
that,
how deep the
So
posts
the
were dug
the fence
to.
at Spring Mall, just like the fence at Pick and Save, the 8-foot fence at Pick and Save was designed to keep basically shoplifters from going through people's yards.
Worked out well for
but
Best
And
Buy.
to
then we're
keep-
talking
Yeah, there's-
residence to residence.
I think there's
It would be
residents
more
right there,
attractive,
aren't
but
there? Yeah, no,
just something to keep in mind. Unrelated to you, sorry,
that's
I
why you guys
strayed.
you get paid $6 a month to make these important decisions. Do you get paid $6?
I get nothing from this
$5.
I
one.
think it's
$5?
I think it's $5.
Some of it we don't even get paid.
You don't get paid?
Not as an alternate, he just doesn't vote, he shouldn't get paid.
You shouldn't be paid.
No.
Shouldn't be paid even if I do, right?
Right, motion, is there a motion to approve? Second
Make a motion to approve.
by Commissioner Weiss, or a second, Commissioner? Thank you. Go down that, Dan. Mr. Kranz, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Good luck, thank you.
Thanks.
Item 6A and 6B, I'd ask be placed on the next agenda.
Okay.
That was a joke.
He doesn't joke.
Yeah, I did. This is a special use permit for Stasis Health and Wellness, a proposed massage therapy business on the suites on Loomis at 4958 West Loomis, Suite 6, as well as site plan review.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a new massage occupant in the building. It's Zone C2, which requires a special use permit. Proposed hours of operation are 8 to 8. They would be under a 1-year lease, and parking is sufficient. 42 are required for the entire building. 42 are provided. Recommend a public hearing be scheduled for February 21st.
Make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Carlson. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Item 7, revised architectural plans for Mr. Car Wash located at 4763 South 27th Street, as well as a signage plan appeal for that same location.
Yeah, thank you. So as everyone's aware, last month's meeting, we were talking about a canopy and kind of came to everyone's attention, oh, that was never part of the original submittal and was not reviewed architecturally. So this is, the existing drive for Sonic, which this existing drive location is staying the same place. So this would be your vantage point for the new canopy that's proposed and identified here in the orange rectangle, and then there's an attendant building as well. And so this is architecturally what it would look like. We've got the stone veneer to match the building, ephes, and then a metal panel on top, and the attendant building next to it. And we'll talk about signage in the next item.
Okay, this is item 7, and I have no objection to this canopy whatsoever. Does anybody
Make a
else?
motion to approve.
As long as
Present.
there's, as presented, with no signage on the canopy.
Correct.
That would be my second,
That's my
as long
motion.
as the motion has no
That's what's
signage on the
presented,
canopy.
okay. Motion was made by Weiss, seconded by
I'll second that.
Carl,
Carl,
I don't care, I'm not gonna fight over that.
with the caveat that it's as presented.
correct.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
This photograph, not
That one.
that design, not the photograph that they show.
Well, item 8 is signage plan appeal for Mr. Car Wash, I guess.
So we're going to scratch
The signage.
the write-up in the staff report, because after the staff report was published, we received a revised signage plan. So for comparisons, the staff report on page 11 shows the table that at that time, 344 square feet were being proposed. That's been reduced since publication to 261 square feet, total of 6 wall signs, and the monument height being 15 feet. So this is the newest and greatest signage waiver request, is square footage, quantity, and height of the monument sign. So this is a map showing where those proposed signs are located. They did remove the free vacuum sign along the east facade. They're proposing 2 Mr. Car Wash signs, wall signs on the east facade, and then 1 on the north facade. The monument sign location is the same as it was last month, and they decreased the size of the canopy signs that we had as staff conversations back and forth over the last few weeks. So the total signage exceeds the allowable of 198. They're proposing 261. And so let's start with the wall signs on the building. On the north facade, as the Plan Commission recommended and suggested last month. The standalone sparkle signs, we are not counting in square footage. I mean, a permit would be required, but we're not counting in square footage when I said that we're now at 261. That does not include the standalone sparkles. So it includes the 3 Mr. wall signs. So north facade, you can consider this 1 wall sign. East facade, they're proposing 2. South facade, just the sparkle, so we're not counting it. And then the west elevation, no wall signs proposed there. And then there are the canopy signs that, this is a live, if you will, canopy in the field, a final product of what it would look like. This is the rendering. And then the Plan Commission did ask for a 3D rendering of what this monument sign would look like, with 27th Street being on the right side of the picture that you see here.
I'm confused. We just approved that canopy without any signage on it.
That's
Correct.
why we're talking about signage now.
Signage is second, canopy was first.
Yep.
Well, my thought was there would be no canopy if there's a signage on it.
You can have a canopy without signage, though.
Why can't you? You could have a canopy without signage.
I think we talked about the entrance and exit being an important safety thing last
We did.
meeting.
I know, but that means we're all stupid. We don't know where we're going.
Unfortunately, I think a lot of customers would be confused.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
The enter and exit I don't have an issue with.
No, I don't either. It's the huge enter, member going down the main drag there.
I'm more concerned about the monument sign. It's massive. There's a driveway right on the other side.
Agreed.
And it's not like you can see through it. It's all filled in the middle.
Is the monument sign in the vision triangle? No, it is outside. I don't have a problem with the monument on, I wouldn't have a problem with that monument on any of the high
Yeah, and then
traffic
it gets
streets.
put in, just like your lights, and it's gotta be removed.
What's this? Do we have a standard height for monument signs?
10 feet.
10 feet. So that would require an allowance as well?
Yes, portion of the requested variance is for height of the monument. They're requesting 15. The sign code limits it to 10 feet for a property of this size.
Do you have, can we get on Google Maps on your thing, like and drive down 27th Street? I want you to pay attention very closely to the monument sign for Festival Foods as you're driving south on 27th Street, if you can do it. Sorry to make you do this. I should have told you.
Why would all get in cars?
So,
I did it earlier just to see.
You might have to go down Highway 100 and look at the new signage on the Nissan structure.
yeah, the sign code is written for, larger big box buildings to have the higher
So this
signage
is
because of
where-
their setbacks, yep.
That is where you are, right there.
Yep. So it would
I
be,
want you to, that's where it's going to be.
Right where the Ashley sign, in front of the Ashley sign, or, oh,
In front of the 40-foot Ashley sign, yeah.
how tall is
So
the Ashley
now I
sign?
want you to look right there, and I want you to go, okay, I want to know where Festival Foods is.
I usually don't stick my head out of the sunroof 10 feet above my car, though.
I think that's a walking crosswalk sign right there.
Yeah, but the camera that is mounted on top of the car is like way up in the
Well,
air.
I don't know if you drive an SUV, that's about your line of sight
I
right
don't-
there.
How tall is the Ashley sign? Is that 10?
The Ashley sign is about 40 feet,
Is it really?
30, 40 feet, I
Oy.
bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Target sign was once above that.
Oh, right, because it's a big box.
Right,
That
so
makes sense.
where's the
It
where's
was
the
before the
festival
sign code.
monument sign right there?
On the other side.
Yeah, on the other side.
Yeah, did you see it?
Yeah, we should cut down that tree. Is that what you want?
I guess what I'm trying to say is that this is a high-traffic, high-speed thoroughfare. Having low signage that you can't get some vision on as you're approaching it has an impact on things. So I would rather have people that are going south on this is just me, and you guys can disagree, right? People that are going southbound on Layton Avenue, not rapidly coming up to a sign and go, oh, there it is.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's why we have the
So
sign
if you
ordinance.
let's keep going down, I mean, we can keep going down 27th Street and we
It's a-
can see.
it's a
So that
compromise.
festival sign, so festival is about 100,000 square foot place. And there used to be a sign 40 feet in the air for Target, and there is one about 8 or 10 feet off the ground for festival that you can't see. It's impossible to see even the Caribou Coffee sign, because there's Caribou Coffee there too.
Yep.
So if you keep going, there, let's go real slow, right? Keep going, keep going.
We're looking at
Let's just drive down the road, right? How tall is that? I know that's a multi-tenant space, but how tall is that? That's a bit taller, and which one as you're driving down the road can you see better? The one that's taller, and I'm not suggesting that we go back to the days of Waukegan where everything is 70 feet in the air and it looks like, right?
Yeah.
But a little,
And that's why there's a sign ordinance that you can compromise if you think you need a
which is what
monument sign.
what's in,
No,
so
let me
these guys.
finish my thought.
Yeah,
Either you have building signage up the yin-yang on a building that's 50 feet or 20 feet off the roadway, or you put a pylon sign. And in this case, we're doing both. They want a
That's
big,
not a-
huge monument sign, and they want to put signage all over the building. You cannot miss that building once it's there.
You said you tried to get on the Ashley sign? That didn't go well? Okay. Okay.
Well, that's the struggle, is right now we're putting this, I won't say smaller sign right next to the Ashley sign. I don't think aesthetically that is gonna look right, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion, cause you're putting, you know.
which sign do you
40-foot
think looks better? Do you think this sign looks better or the Ashley sign?
This sign looks better than the Ashley sign. I think the Ashley sign looks like the old signs. It looks awful.
Do you think this sign looks better than that Arby's sign right there?
I like the Arby
I
sign.
like the Arby sign.
Do you really?
Yeah, I can see it, it's clear.
Doesn't it look like a piece of plywood? On brick?
Well, you can see
I'm
it.
sure they
It's clear
appreciate
because
not
it's
getting
low
on
to
a
the
ladder.
ground and
Yeah.
there's nothing obstructing the view. Now,
Yeah, it's
It's
all
well
yard.
placed. It's well
It's all
placed.
Very
yard.
well placed, and it's easy to see. The sign that we're talking about for these
Wish they
guys
did a rendering
is,
this way, but-
has, that hill in the way.
It's on a hill, so
Go
it's, I mean,
backwards and try.
I like the green one on the other side. I think
Oh,
you can
keep
see
going
that really
the other
clearly.
Are you advocating for that?
No,
The other direction, to see it coming from,
I'm fine with the 15 as long as
Back
it's
over
not
there.
in the line of vision, which it isn't, so,
well, the fact that it's on a hill,
yeah.
I'm not sure you need the extra 5 feet because it's already raised.
I
I'm
don't
not sure
think it
how many feet
hurts.
above the sidewalk it is.
right?
It's not a horrible sign by any means, but it's already raised
Yeah,
above
where
the
are we?
sidewalk.
Yeah, we're almost there. That pesky semi. So we gotta remember, there's gonna be foliage on the trees in the summer. Yeah, you can't really see that.
Festival's tiny.
Festival sign.
I feel bad for festival. Could festival go on top of the Ashley sign, like the
They
Target?
won't, we won't let them.
No, not allowed. Does festival want a bigger sign? Did it ever come up?
Well, initially they did want to, but it didn't match our sign code.
I've missed it personally. I'm bad with directions, but I've missed festival.
Yeah, I usually come in awful
Can you pull
late.
slide 26? Oh, thank you, perfect. Because it's slightly raised anyways, I mean.
so where's the other sign in this drawing?
That's what I'm wondering,
That's
how
what
they're
I'm
gonna
saying, is
sit
when you
next
guys
to
put
each
the
other.
sign, right, it doesn't, you can't,
Oh, you're losing some, wait, no, the driveway's gonna be the same.
oh, is it gonna get wider? It is getting wider. On which way? On the, on. But, well.
Oh, that swoop is
so
here. I'm
if
looking
you
at the
goes
wrong
back
spot.
to-
So just so you,
I'm looking at the wrong spot. So that big swoop
that
is
driveway's
way
going to be a
back
lot
here.
closer to the monument sign than
I
it
think so
appears.
too.
Oh, yeah,
So it
well,
doesn't-
But then, well, look, where's it?
So where's the Ashley sign on this rendering?
It's not shown, but
I mean, where would it be?
probably, like, right where the arrow is.
So they're gonna be stacked.
Well, that
Kind
even
of.
makes it more stupid of a sign.
They're gonna be stacked.
Right, that's what I was trying to say, is, cause if you look at it, if you pull up this.
What's this, Google Street
right,
View?
Google-
You
yeah,
can't
Google
read his
Maps,
mind.
and then take a look, was that facing east, right, to that sign, just like this?
Yeah.
Where's that sign supposed to be?
I think in
Probably where
front.
the hand is, here.
So on the other side?
Other side of Ashley.
Yeah.
The north side of that Ashley sign.
On the other side of the bushes.
On the other side of the bush, like right there, is what you're saying?
In that,
So either you go lower than the Ashley or higher.
Right,
So if they go lower, it's covered by the bushes as
It
you're
is.
going northbound.
We gotta go in between the bushes and the Ashley or above the Ashley, and we're not letting them do that.
Well, we don't want them to go above the
You don't want
Ashley,
it
'cause
equal
we
with
can't do
Ashley.
that.
I know. So equal with Ashley is gonna
No,
suck.
we're not, that's, Ashley's, how tall is that? That's 30, 40 feet up
Is that really?
to the top,
Yeah, it's not a monument sign.
right? 25 feet?
As it's described.
You're a sign guy, aren't you?
Pretty nicely, I feel.
30 feet.
I'm
think that's
guessing
30
20,
feet.
25 feet probably.
I'm happy that they want to make this.
20, 25 maybe.
So there's a person, see the person on the sidewalk to the left behind the car?
Yep,
That person's probably about 5 or 6 feet. So if you multiply that person times 5
Yeah.
or 6,
are you gonna be able to see it coming from both sides? Or is it? It's gonna be closer. Okay, so it's gonna not be stacked, it's gonna be staggered.
You think that those bushes are 8
They're
feet high?
conflicting each other.
no, I think those people right there are
Well, that's
5
pretty
to
far
6
away.
feet.
How about the bushes, those junipers? They're not 5 feet tall.
Aesthetically, terrible.
Easy to take care of them.
There we go.
Still gonna be aesthetically terrible.
Or
So
were
it's-
those even people over there, or were those just trees?
So it'd be
But
way down
5
there.
feet off of the sidewalk.
But it's not bothering the traffic when the traffic is out. They're still gonna be able to see the street because the sign's not gonna be in the way.
Right.
Yeah,
And so all it's doing is benefiting the Mr. Car Wash, is helping them, and we want our businesses in Greenfield to succeed.
Yes.
So
I'm just saying,
I
so if
think
you
whether
look
it's
at,
10 or 15, you'd see the sign just fine, quite frankly. And they'll have signage on the building. I think it's a fine sign, the way the design of it, and I think either way you'd see it.
it's up to you guys, whatever.
No, here you go.
I like 15.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the 15-foot sign as described, the monument sign for the Mr. Car Wash.
Are we doing
We
the,
have other
well, we
items
gotta
on
do
there.
it all together, yeah.
Yeah.
Take it back.
so yes, the height is one request, and then the other request is 3 wall signs.
Did we decide to exclude the safety signs, like the exit and the enter signs from?
We're not
the-
counting that in square footage,
Okay,
and nor the sparkle.
okay.
Here you go. So you got the monument sign, the Mr. Wall sign, the larger one is on the north elevation. 57 square foot ones are on the east elevation facing 27th Street. And then these are the 3 green ones are the ones on the canopy. The enter, unlimited member, unlimited member.
But we didn't address Kastner's concern, right, of the canopy having,
Yep,
I
we haven't
would
talked
support
about
everything
that.
that they're submitting now. Because
Yeah.
I don't think it matters if there's an enter sign or members only.
I think they're just a little bit too large.
You know,
I
they're-
think everyone's gonna think members only, they're selling jackets.
So the one enter sign is
I got a
8
question.
square
Mike.
feet, 9 square
That one
feet, which
aged
means
ya.
it's 3 feet by 3 feet generally,
reference
or
most people are not
1,
gonna get
2
anymore,
feet by
unless
4
they're our
feet.
age.
That's pretty big.
So question for
2-foot
you,
letters?
like you have an enter and then you got these member only. Can the members go underneath that? Like, does that member only need to be there? Is, I guess, really what I'm
I think it's the pass.
Hold them up for that reference.
I worked hard for one of those.
Back in the day.
Is the cashier's right there by the building? Yeah. Oh, that's, okay.
Can we, sorry, we never got names of,
Justin Young, for Mr. Car Wash.
From Indiana? Nice.
I'm sorry.
Victor Yi from. So I can speak to the three. So, yes, we have the cashier, and the experience be fast, quick, and convenient for our customers. So separating the lanes and making it obvious for which type of customer goes where really speeds up the process and keeps the cars off the lot, actually. So this is pretty standard at all of our sites, and it's really great for throughput and keeping the cars off the property as quickly as possible, and there's no backup into the street or line with any confusion of where to go. So in terms of just the business mechanics, it works out very well.
So I got a question, because I may go there sometime and I may just want to go in a shorter line. What's going to happen if I'm not a member and I'm in the non-member line?
Welcome to use that line. We're not going to make you back up, and but most people follow directions and go to enter or go to members.
And you would think the members would know where they belong anyhow.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes
People like
members will
you
go
that
to the
want
entry lane
to
'cause,
get ahead of
it's faster. So
the members by going into the members lane because you're not a member,
Yeah, I
but you
know.
recognize that you can bypass
we'll,
other people.
we'll
that have-
recommend a membership at that point if you're in the members lane.
Well, you do every time I go there anyhow.
Just buy and go through.
Yeah, there are kiosks in all three lanes.
Yeah,
Cause how much square footage of signage do you have on the one on about 108th
where
and
it's
Layton?
here.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
The amount of square footage you have in the building on 106th and Layton?
That would have been an acquisition store, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much smaller signage. I've driven by that numerous times and
Yeah, that's an acquisition site. I don't know off the top of my head, but these are built, our new build sites, but the other Layton one is acquisition.
no, I know it is. My point is, it's always busy. So the fact that it has a whole lot less signage has not hurt the business there at all. It's been open that way, I don't know how many, number of years. It is always, any nicer day, it is jammed line going out to Layton.
Once people are trained, right?
Well, I'm just saying, there's the
Yeah,
amount of
so, I
signage
mean,
there is
every-
much less, so the fact that you're way over here, I don't think it'll hurt your store at all. I'm just being very practical, because that store's done very well there.
And then it's like, do you anticipate having, I know you're trying to like, obviously have members, right, gain more membership, to do, one member lane or try to, I don't know, maybe not, maybe that's like, just substituting one for the other. I was thinking maybe to enter versus, but probably not gonna be.
I guess omitting some of the other signs, I was expecting the ask number to be lower. It still seems relatively high based on what's been omitted. So I guess we just have to decide, are we gonna stick to our sign code, or are we gonna, where's the give and take?
We're going to waiver it.
Chris, do you have the number from last meeting? Because I think we had the number for the other store. I could have swore it was under 200. It was like 170s or 160 square footage of signage on the old, the store.
what was proposed?
No, on
Or-
on the existing store on 106th
Oh,
and Layton.
yeah, I think that
I just remember there
that
was much less.
statistic was on the PowerPoint.
106 and Layton include the 4 titanium flags on posts,
Those have been removed.
have they?
We addressed it, yeah, with Mr. Corporate.
Let's see here.
Sorry?
Is it Mr. Corporate or corporate?
Mr. Corporate,
Oh,
and they contacted Victor, and he took care of it this week. I can comment to that.
So are you the guy from corporate that we can complain to, or?
No, I'm just a in-the-field car washer. But we can address things if you want to chat offline. But the banners, we apologize for that. Our marketing team hired out a third party, and they're supposed to vet everything, and they installed it, and some sites got them, some didn't. So when they installed them, we assumed they did their homework. But as soon as we heard, we took them down. So we apologize for that.
So when this Mr. Car Wash is approved too, and I know this doesn't get to signage, but you have the tire stuff that you put on?
Tire shine.
Yeah, that goes
That's another
right
concern.
before it gets to the street, and it's still all over the street. all over it, and every time it rains and stuff, it gets really slick, and there's not supposed to be any of that stuff on the street.
Yeah, I'll address that with my counterpart. So that Greenfield site is his site, but I'll address that and see if we can, maintain that a little bit better and see what we can get a
Because
regular
you don't
schedule on
maintain it at all right now.
Okay.
Or he doesn't, or whoever it is. Okay.
Understood. No, we'll take a look at that.
I practically don't know a solution to that.
Yeah, I don't know how you can fix
Because
it.
it
would
says
need a
it literally goes
solvent.
down the hill as they go out and it just goes in the
Right.
street.
On the cars, on the tires.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they could do, quite
Don't
frankly.
put it on.
I do
That
like
might be the
it.
only option, quite frankly.
There'd have to be like a maintenance solvent to break it down occasionally,
So,
you would think.
I'm familiar with the pressure washing process on these. Typically, a heated pressure washer does a pretty good job, and
Okay.
and this one, and I've only been in this market for 2 years, but most of the time we do a pretty good job of maintaining our lots and catching excess. And I'm not part of the new build teams, but to my understanding, the new sites have better catch basins at the exit of our tunnels, and the way that the layout of the tunnel is designed so the car is a little bit drier when the tire shine is applied, so it's not sliding off the car. It is biodegradable, and we do wash a lot of cars, but you know, I'll make it a point to, again, get with my counterpart to clean that up a little bit better.
As long as we're looking at this, I don't remember the canopy being on the original plan. Did they come back to us? And I don't remember approving the canopies on this location.
This location on near Highway 100?
Yeah,
On 27.
Oh, I don't know.
Here.
Sorry, that was before my time, probably.
I know. I don't think it was ever on the
Are
original
there
plan.
canopies?
You can see it here, right
Yeah.
here,
There's
Oh, over
canopies.
there. Yeah.
in the back, yeah.
So they
That was
just kind
before my
of
time,
put
too.
up flag signs and canopies willy-nilly.
Could be.
Carl, do you?
Well,
get your
isn't the
car washed?
location on
I do,
Layton
actually.
and Highway 100, that was an existing
Everyone
building,
was
so
nice to
you were
me.
kind
Are
of
they nice?
constricted to what was
That was
already
input.
there,
Yeah,
right?
and that's kind of the problem with an acquisition site is clearly it's not gonna be engineered and designed like today's standards, so you are gonna have some, obviously, issues with an acquired site versus a new build. And when they come in here, I don't work for their construction team, but when they come in here and discuss the building permits, that's the time for you guys to kind of address that with them, and they should hopefully accommodate you guys. Typically they would.
Right.
I would just say this about the Mr. Car Wash on Highway 100, it's a lot better, whatever it looks like now, however much signage it has, and whether or not it had a canopy with a permit or not, than what was there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. I like the
Maintain the
roof
site,
line
other
and-
than
yeah.
the,
And when it comes to this car wash on 27th Street, where there was a vacant Sonic restaurant for a number
Quite a
of
while.
years, this improvement and multi-million-dollar enhancement is much better than that.
absolutely.
And
Agreed.
when we're talking about 261 square feet of signage, which includes maybe sprinkles or doesn't include sprinkles, or whether it has an entrance sign or whether it has members only sign, in the scheme of it, I'm inclined to think that what they're presenting, which is roughly a third of what it was, or half to a third of what it was, isn't that obnoxious, and I would approve it. But that's just me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I wish I could, I
So
don't
I
remember
don't,
last.
I don't care. If you can make the enter signs and the member-only signs smaller,
So we did reduce them. I'll look into how much smaller we can go if we can. The problem you run into is the unlimited members, the unlimited text, right? Is so small that you have to be able to fit an LED in there. And when you get too small a stroke size, it starts looking bulky and not legible. So there is a rhyme and reason to, like, we did reduce it by 2 inches. I can see if we can make an odd number size, I mean, maybe 15 inches.
but it doesn't.
It's not
So
gonna be much
Carl, who
more.
has his bifocals here and goes to Mr. Car Wash regularly, I would hate to have him going like this to figure out which one he has to go into. While he's not probably doing it yet, I am.
Yeah.
Just,
But that would only be once. The second time I went there, because I'm a member, I would know where to go.
But one thing I can say that as you get older, your memory starts to go too.
My
So what you
goodness.
did yesterday, you probably won't remember the next time.
We're talking about federal government again.
Well, we're talking about me, actually. I can't remember anything lately, so.
But just speaking for
um,
me, I really appreciate you guys investing in the city of Greenfield, bringing the business here. And I think the business, I think the business is gonna be great at this location and the
It's gonna be
signage
busy.
is gonna help our, citizens to get through the car wash quickly and efficiently. And I just wanna thank you for running a good, clean business, in the past and in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
But the only thing that I would caution you on, because I have, no offense to everybody, the thing that I have to deal with every day, whenever you put up those flags, like your vendor puts up a flag, everybody else puts up flags.
Right.
And then everybody goes, well, the car wash has 4 of them, right? And if you don't maintain the street out in front with the black tire stuff, shine stuff that you put on, and it starts raining and people start sliding, or people wipe out on their bikes because there's a bike lane there, kind of, that's a bad thing. So you have to pay attention to that stuff.
These anecdotes are true. I mean,
This is the kind of
is true
stuff,
statement.
so this is how it plays out every day, sort of, right? So, and don't put the LED lights around your windows, and don't load up your windows with all sorts of signage and make it look cluttery, because the only thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to preserve the value of your property.
Yes,
We're trying to make it be successful in a reasonable way, right?
longevity.
But we don't want to be the other side of the street that has a 2% higher sales tax now that I've been dealing with now for too long. So,
10 years. Well,
well, and wholeheartedly for the last 6 or 8 months. But the reality is that there's a reason to be on this side of the street, and the better it looks, right? The better it is for you and for everybody and for the clientele and long-term for your investment. So that's the only reason we kind of make a stink about this stuff. It's nothing personal, right?
I appreciate that. And I've been working for them for 5 years. I can assure you that every time a sign is dented, dinged out, that we're out there as soon as possible fixing it. I know it's a car wash, but they do consider themselves high-end retail in the car wash industry, so they do pride themselves on their lots.
Can I just look at the elevations again for the signs that you want proposed? Why do you have 2 of them on the east wall?
It's, I mean, generally speaking, we have them on 6 elevations. This is, we felt like it's facing the main roadway, so it captures traffic coming from both directions.
So it doesn't catch it going from the south, it catches it twice on the east and once on the north.
Well, one's before the entrance, the other one's after the entrance, but yeah, I mean, it's the thought process of it. One, aesthetically, it looks better, but we do believe that it helps brand the building and provide people more time to turn in. That's just, like I said, typically we have 6 as our standard. We usually end up with 5 to 4. 3 would be helpful.
Can I ask why, like on the east elevation on the left, you have a mister, but on the southern elevation where you have that big square, which is,
I'm sorry, can you say that one more time?
so if you look at the left mister sign,
Uh-huh,
right, that one,
okay.
why isn't that one on there?
I think that's probably end up being obscured by the Ashley Furniture sign.
Fair enough.
I agree with you, Mike. I don't
I would
think,
put one on.
I would
three
eliminate those
signs
2
is-
and put one there. The canopy is in a center thingy on the east elevation.
I'm sorry?
Oh, this.
The canopy will come out right there. It's not drawn on there? Or am I have my bifocals here.
Be at the entrance, but it will not be connected to the building, no. Is that what you're asking?
Oh.
Sorry. Okay.
In this elevation, where is it? Oh, way on that end,
Oh, it's
okay.
back.
On the right side of it.
Way down there. Gotcha.
So this is where those 2 signs are.
That begs Mike's question even more. You're never gonna see that sign anyhow.
Which sign would that be?
The one on that pillar.
It should be higher than the canopy. That's, Mr. Sign should be higher than the
It's
canopy.
much-
Yeah, but the
much
road is
higher.
lower and the
Nope,
canopy's
I know,
here.
you're gonna have an angle that you'll be able to see it from a distance, not when you get closer.
Yeah, you
You're
can't
right.
see it if you're standing on the property, but you would see it from the roadway.
So this.
Good luck with that.
It's an optical illusion. When you're on property, you see just the top of it. When you step back 20, 30 feet.
Can I ask you one more question? It's really gonna get y'all excited. Can we go back to the site plan one more time?
Here, okay.
Which one?
This is kind of
The
redundant.
overview, the
Like
overview.
landscaping?
Site landscaping, the one we just looked at.
Overhead?
Yeah, overhead.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
The overhead one, can we go back to the site and landscape
Is this what
plan?
you're
No, the
Oh,
one,
that's the site plan, sorry.
that one.
Okay.
So how many cars stack on a really busy first spring day?
Ouch.
You got your documents, right?
How many cars can you expect in a line on a busy spring day?
Oh,
You mean like,
Like a really, man, winter's over,
Yeah, it's all right.
you know, like the
pointing
worst
out
day
how
of the year,
high
how many
that
cars
mister
do you
is.
anticipate would usually stack?
I don't know, the length of the drive.
No, not how long the drive is, how many cars would be in line, ready to be
So
car
you're
washed?
asking like how many would this driveway hold without spilling into the entrance of the,
Yeah,
Yeah, I can speak to that distance, because I'm not in the design team, but,
we had that on the original, I can try to find it.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, I can't speak on behalf, I know some of your stores do 40,000 cars a year, so I mean, on a busy day, I'm sure it could get busy, but I've never been on a property where it's been super too deep, but it's.
the only thing
been
I'm worried
deep,
about is
busy.
looking at that, and it's the first time I looked at it, cause I thought initially you guys came in from the west more, and you didn't.
I thought we talked,
You're afraid of stacking into the driveway, into the.
Well, that would be a bad place to stack, right?
oh, there, that's what we're looking
1,
for.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Wait, let's
9.
do multiples.
Well, I,
yeah, that's quite a bit, and that's not even what's in the tunnel, which is, 6 or 7, and then, yeah, that's a lot of space.
That's a lot of cars.
I'm not worried about that space, I'm worried about the space flowing in.
Yeah, I mean,
Down
and
here
there's that reason and need for our signage on the canopy, right? To get people into the lane, into the car wash faster and out from behind the canopy or you know, causing any
Well,
traffic
it's not gonna
issues.
go any faster because you still got production.
You still
through the
pottle.
tunnel- Through the car wash tunnel.
yeah, it'd actually potentially bottleneck it, cause there'd be all non-members that would be going into one lane, and they can't go in the other two.
Happens before the pay stations, so we want to avoid that and convert people to members or direct members to the right place, so we typically wouldn't see it stacked to capacity like that. I don't anticipate that being an issue.
Okay, I mean, just so the minutes reflect from this meeting, that could be a concern at some point.
Yeah. this-
If that stacking goes into, and I'm sure Ashley and Festival will probably point that out to you quickly. But those cars that are stacked to go in need to be in.
Yeah, we pride ourselves in speed as well, so we have operational levers we can pull if volume is where, I mean, it'd be a good problem for us, but we
So
would
do you
make sure
mean
we're not stopping.
you have faster car washes that aren't as thorough?
We don't want to wash them so fast that you're not getting a good clean, but we can crank it up if we need to.
Are they less expensive if you get the,
No, that's the surge rate,
You go
it's more.
unlimited.
is that where you go?
Yeah.
Maybe they use more
I
water.
think, and also,
so
right,
it's at a
if you
loss
think
to
about it,
them.
it's not-
Throttled by my cell phone company and throttled by the
Serving
car
Milwaukee,
wash.
I mean, you're serving, you know.
It's a bad
so
day.
Figure all those communities are coming, you know, by chance.
It's
to
a
you.
busy, it's a busy location.
You know, or if the one further down is busy, or isn't there one down?
Tsunami.
27th?
Oh,
The other way? What's that one down by,
27th and Ramsey is the first one that I'm aware of, and then there's one right next to this at the Amoco or BP station.
oh,
that
like a
they
touch.
don't do a lot of business.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cost just as much, actually.
I would make a motion if I could. I don't remember all those.
So what are you gonna make a motion for, Steve?
He wants to approve it as presented, I believe is
I
what he's
want to
saying.
second a motion here.
Motion
Yeah, I'll make a
Any
motion to
motion.
approve as presented.
I'm seconding that.
by the doctor and then by the reverend. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We passed it.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you for your time.
That,
Good luck.
Appreciate it, thank
is
you.
that okay?
You'll be busy.
We okay?
The mayor and I also represent.
tire shine off the road, please?
This tire shine goes into their parking lot, so.
Time to
Parking lot.
Yeah, this one will probably be less of a problem.
That's really a problem. I mean, they really gotta deal with that.
Right.
If you got any more questions not related to signage, you can send them to Christie and I'll address with corporate. So I can't speak on behalf of like the civil team, I'm not a civil engineer, so. But,
Understood.
we'll help out as much as we can, we'd like to kind of do it for you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you much.
Okay, item number 9 is an amended, or an ordinance to amend section 21.04.0603 of the municipal code pertaining to other activities related to credit intermediation. Is that what it really is?
Yes.
I didn't even know the word existed.
So, yeah, Legislative Committee met last month and asked staff to draft an ordinance to basically eliminate these. Today they're listed as special uses. You can see the examples here, what falls under this NAICS code. And so it would be, the ordinance is drafted to, instead of saying special use, it just gets eliminated, which means no new ones are allowed in the city. There's only one today. It can continue to change hands unless there's a 1-year gap of the use. So public hearing is actually scheduled for next week already.
Excellent.
Does it have to be 1 year?
We attacked this a long time ago to get it to this point.
It's 1 year.
I'll make a motion to approve.
By Commissioner Weiss, there's second. Commissioner Rogers, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Do you have a report this evening?
Oh, we've got one more
Oh,
ordinance.
we got one more.
One more, and it's number 10.
Ooh.
Did you forward
Ordinance
that
to-
to you, anyone?
Isn't that the one I just read?
Email or text?
Ordinance to amend section 21.04.0703 of the municipal code pertaining to detailed standards for special uses in non-residential districts.
So we have this paragraph under convenience stores and gas stations that they're with limitations on what can be outside for outdoor storage and display of merchandise. Today, ice storage boxes are not allowed. It's amended to read that the following are prohibited: vending boxes, vending machines, firewood, window washing fluids, salt bags. However, propane tanks and other flammable materials and ice storage boxes may be permitted outdoors. That's how it's drafted per the guidance from Legislative Committee. This also is scheduled for public hearing next week.
I sent something to the mayor, and it's kind of the,
I just saw it
the
on Highway 100.
100, Layton and 124th is a gas station.
Yep.
And they created a spot for this type of stuff that does not look obtrusive to the street. So can the ordinance require that it is hidden to some degree?
Refuge enclosure?
If we're gonna have,
So that was part of the new construction at the time.
at the time,
It turned out well.
And it turned out well. I think it's hard to retrofit that.
But maybe no different than trash containers, they gotta be contained.
That's what I was saying.
I agree, that's not a bad way to look at it.
But would we want to do that moving forward, right, with new development?
If you wanna put them outside, you have to have
if you
some
wanna
kind
put
of-
them outside, you have to contain them in some type of structure that looks appropriate.
That obstructs them from street view.
I'll give Paul Sadoo your phone number, Carl.
Pardon?
That sounded like a threat.
So I'll give Paul Sadoo your phone number.
He has it.
I'm sure he does, I'm sure he does.
I'm not sure it's only him, though, because I think there are some other gas stations that have the same situation, right?
So more like grandfather.
When it relates to firewood, propane, and ice machines.
Just because Carl Rajani did it, because he has a
Plan
good name,
better
I don't know.
For the new,
I just,
sounds good to me.
Trip in New Berlin has that same kind of setup in the back.
Who?
Quick Trip in New Berlin off of Ashboro, not far from Moreland.
See, Quick Trip's a good operator, aren't they?
They are
They're a very good operator.
good to their staff too.
They're hard on new construction, though.
Yes.
But I think we should add some language to this.
Okay.
You're thinking, aren't you, Mike?
I don't know what to think.
Okay.
So I try to think practically. It's like, all right, it's the weekend, I'm going up north, I have to fill my cooler. I don't have a cooler anymore, but when I had a cooler, and I have boat, and I want to throw the cooler in the boat, and the boat's getting filled up, because I have to do that.
I don't got a boat anymore.
And I don't have a boat anymore. I know.
Country song.
It's tragic, actually. But, it's like, grab 3 bags of ice, right? Okay, so you go to the ice thing, and you grab 3 bags of ice, and you put it in your cooler.
Yeah.
You don't, I don't know.
Well, look at that guy in the
and
Model
I'm just-
commercial that has to go inside the building
Yeah.
to get it, to
To
fill up the back of his ticket.
Yeah.
But every time he had to go back in the building to get it, and he still did it.
Yeah.
Maybe for just the commercial, but he did it. He didn't just grab it from outside.
I suspect that was staged.
You think?
Because in the real world, when I see the ice machine outside the thing, it's like, get 3 bags of ice, pay for, I don't know. I don't,
Well, you gotta go in and get the key anyhow.
I'm glad that the biggest issues facing the city right now, truthfully, I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Other than this, like, sales tax stuff is important,
Oh, yeah.
and TIF stuff's important, and redeveloping Spring Mall is important. But if the biggest thing we have to be concerned about and spend 12 minutes on is whether we should have ice machines in front of, I think they should be reasonably placed in a position where they're not obnoxious and obtrusive or something, and they should be placed on the side of a building if they need to be. I don't know, but it doesn't matter to me.
That's kind of my point.
So whatever you guys want to do.
My concern is, like the picture we saw, that's what we're gonna get.
That's what is already.
That's
I,
there.
100%, and that's the part, that's what we don't want.
Yep.
And that's been the argument against these since last 25 years.
Was Zach
That's
brought
what I
up
don't want. I mean,
They're just outside,
Yes.
yeah.
Just
I agree.
plopped there.
and that's what's gonna happen if we just have generic language like this.
Yes,
I agree.
yes.
And that's
Zach
maybe-
brought up a good point that new construction would require some kind of structure, and present ones would be grandfathered.
Because technically, under the existing ordinance, an ice machine wouldn't even be allowed
Correct.
at the other
Yes.
location.
No one should have these right now.
But it wouldn't even be allowed in a place where
That's
if
why
you go
they're-
back to 124th or 16th, 124th and Layton, where there's a provision, did you see the picture? Did you guys get to see the picture? It's hidden, there's like
I
a
like
code.
that.
I think they're all familiar.
It's
But
obscured,
here
you know,
again, there's no
obstructed,
ice there,
excuse me,
it's
from
just
the road,
propane.
right? It's-
It's obscured.
It'll make those ice machines last longer too. Those compressors, the weather's hard on them.
Well, the other problem is compressors for these machines on the inside
Yeah,
also heats the heck out of a building.
they do. Yeah, they're intense.
So I think one of the reasons they want them outside is because of the heat generated by the compressor.
Yeah.
Compressors
We had to-
don't like being cold either sometimes.
Well, if that way they'll be
But you
shaded
don't want to
from,
be having your air conditioner cranking all summer long because the ice machine is heating up
The building,
I'm just,
but that's
but
reality.
in the winter, it's a nice thing because
It heats up the building.
yeah. I think having them in an outdoor structure is a good solution.
I think we need to wrap some language around it.
So
otherwise
how
it's
do you, I don't know what the language is to require some structure outside to make it right?
Right, it has to be
Or how you
specified.
retrofit it, or,
Screened from view. I mean, you could just put a comma and say screened from,
Green from view.
Placed and screened from view.
or not at,
appropriately
Not in the front of the building?
aesthetically,
Yeah.
and something screened from view
I've never heard
or
it before,
less
but tonight I've
obtrusive,
heard
I don't know.
complaints about that, so.
Because otherwise we're gonna have those, and
Nowhere
that's
else,
not,
but
none of us
I've
want
never-
that.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm not
permitted
worried,
if there's
I don't,
something, you know, per-
There's no
per
complaint,
planning
don't
commission
worry about
approval.
it.
there was a complaint because somebody got cited for having an ice storage in front of their business.
Because they're not supposed to have them.
The one hidden doesn't even have one because they're complying with the ordinance.
But they couldn't have one there either.
Well, that's right, yeah.
So
If
that's
it's
the point I
outside.
was trying to make. It's like, even if you do it,
They
our
built
ordinance
it,
doesn't
yeah.
allow you to do it, even if you do it in a way
Correctly.
that we think is appropriate.
Then what's determine a way that's appropriate?
I think staff should come up with,
so,
Shielded
I think
and
staff is
placed.
aware of,
I have-
of the concerns of the planning commission and can craft options.
Well, that's what this is. This would,
And
this would permit
materials.
it.
Oh, well, this, if we just, so you hear people saying, well, we're not gonna just permit it, cause it should be more aesthetically whatever,
'Cause
and
we worry about
maybe
the
we'll
architecture
permit it
of the
when we
building.
build new stuff.
Why have
Is
that
it
there?
is it too vague to say maybe permitted outdoors per planning commission approval of design? Is that,
Staff,
So what will happen now, instead of getting sign
then
plan,
we're all
sign
gone, and then
waivers for
somebody-
everything, you're gonna have everybody and their brother who gets a ticket come in and say, can I put this ice machine in front of my place?
work with staff.
And you're all gonna go,
Place.
oh,
Every
Mr.
single one of
Smith,
them.
you know, thank you for doing
Okay.
business in the city.
makes sense?
Of course you can do it.
So better to just have it.
Work with
It's-
staff to be appropriately placed and shielded. I mean, that's,
Yeah, so maybe the staff can come up with the appropriate language, so, how about that?
Have some,
I like that.
And for further review.
Yeah.
But should withhold enforcement until this body makes,
Yeah.
I don't,
I have screened from view and not located along the front building facade.
Appropriately placed.
Appropriately designed or placed appropriately, placed thoughtfully, I don't know.
something like that.
I think
We just don't want
screen
that.
You can
shielded
say,
from-
this
Sure, that's
isn't
not what we
thoughtful,
want.
it's right.
You can't just plop it down.
You can't just plop it down.
Like whichever location has that one currently.
That sounds like a good legal standard.
Yeah.
You can't just plop it down there.
Yeah, that'd be
will be
problematic.
I just want
Sorry.
ChatGPT.
I'm sorry.
I think
I
it's
digress.
appropriate, yeah.
I. Okay. Community Development Managers Report. So no action at this time, and staff is directed to investigate.
Oh, so we're,
Oh, I think he's talking about
That one.
this one. 10.
Yeah, I have a public hearing scheduled next week.
Okay.
Do we not want to make a motion?
I don't know if we have the language yet to make the motion.
no, we can't.
Do we?
I don't think this is the appropriate language.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to amend language.
We made, not even a motion, it's just that staff is directed to create language
Does it come
consistent
back
with
to
the various thoughts and
Does it have to
opinions
come
of,
back to
Well,
us?
does that
of the,
come, it should
it would come back,
is
it would come back to us for approval.
You can still go to have the public hearing.
I can hold the public hearing and they can
Does
just
it gotta
not
go to
take it.
legislative and then come back to us?
So when you have a public hearing, you typically have to have the language that you want to change it.
You want me to cancel the public hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go to legislative, make sure they're okay with it.
I'm not going to
and then come
another
back here.
meeting. All these night meetings.
And then we're gonna like, no, and then it's gotta
So
go all
did,
over again.
this went through the legislative committee?
Yes,
Yes.
And they added ice storage boxes?
yes. It's gotta go back there.
They are the ones, so Andrew.
Your buddy Andrew.
I like all of the elder persons.
They're all my buddies.
He put on a legislative agenda. I didn't even know this was a hot topic until I came to the meeting that night. Well, I mean, until I saw the agenda.
Okay. He's still learning.
I think if we're gonna do it, let's define it.
I think we need to define it better, and it's not that we don't want to change the ordinance consistent with his intent.
It's an easy public hearing to cancel because it's not like I have to notify neighbors or anything
Well,
like
for
that. Right, well, but I'm just saying I don't have to notify neighbors for an ordinance, so it's an easy just cancel.
Postpone.
Well,
We'll
Well, I have to
postpone it.
cancel.
We'll have to,
officially cancel
we'll officially
newspaper.
canceling it,
Yeah.
but the intent isn't to indefinitely.
Actually, you can't even get in the newspaper to cancel on time.
The newspaper. We'll see who.
It is
shows
what it
up.
is.
Yeah.
Snow blower?
No, that's just a vacuum cleaner. Okay.
Let me
Ask me
ask
tomorrow.
Chris.
Ask me tomorrow. So if we can come up with the language, we'll have to see if the city attorney would allow us to put additional language into this, depending on how it was noticed.
No. So only
Only the highlighted portion.
only this is noticed. This is all that's noticed is one sentence. The ordinance is not drafted because
Didn't
the
put the
agenda
other part in
hasn't
there?
spit out. No, just as you see right here, these
We
words.
can keep it going, and maybe we can come up with the language by then.
By then, and you can share.
We have to publish the ordinance on Friday when the agenda goes out. So I have a few days to
Tweak the language.
tweak the language.
Perfect.
Because the ordinance gets published when the agenda gets published on Friday.
That's all it's gonna say.
This is all the agenda item and the notice says. That's why you do that. You only do a one-sentence headline, so you can work the body. You have time to work the body. Yeah.
Perfect.
It used to be that you'd have to put the whole thing in. Remember? Okay, very good.
Okay, so I'm not canceling. I have a motion? Is there a motion to make a recommendation or not? I don't know. How do you want to do that?
I mean, we could deny the language as it is. If we can make a motion, to deny the language, bring it back. If you want a motion, we can just deny.
A motion to improve the language, maybe?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a
Direct staff.
motion for the team to improve the language and have it presented for the public hearing by
Okay.
Friday.
I like the word team.
And I will second that.
Yeah.
Motion by Weiss, second by Rogers, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Okay.
That
I
way,
mean,
if you want to.
and the point is that you don't want these things just plopped anywhere. You want some finesse and thought right? To
Exactly.
make the city a better place. That's more aesthetically pleasing, that doesn't have ice machines in the middle of, right?
10 of them out there, maybe.
Not like Racine. They have them outside all over.
Racine? Yeah. Kenosha probably doesn't. All right, community development manager report.
Really have anything because I had mentioned that Mandel was selected for Spring Mall, and Mandel is doing their due diligence and already asked me about the plan commission process. I did tell them we should have a neighborhood meeting, start with a conceptual plan, just like Cobalt did, have a neighborhood meeting, and then, you know, told them the steps for official site landscaping, architectural design, that sort of thing. So they're definitely engaged and excited to move forward.
Nice.
So is Mandel's a developer?
Yes,
Where are they out of?
Milwaukee.
Nice.
They're one of the best in the
They
Milwaukee
sounded
area.
familiar.
I saw a bunch of surveyors at 84 South this week.
Okay.
I'm curious if there's something happening there.
Did you read the paper?
I did not.
Don't.
I saw the article about the one that's supposed to be coming that probably
Is it?
isn't coming?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that
I
article.
was like, this is wrong, but I was like, okay.
Oh, at 84 South?
They said it was gonna be open
Yeah, that was a
Because
misprint.
This
year.
Published in their article from like 6 months ago.
But I don't know if there was anything going on at 84 South.
There
Other
are
than the bad article.
inquiries. That's all I can really say.
All right. A lot of surveying going on, that's why I was curious.
There's nothing anticipated right now. I think that they actively are continuing to market a couple of the properties there by Aurora and Steinhoffel's, the other one by where Great was, and potentially parts of the corner. But I don't know.
I missed them. I love
Parts
them.
of the corner by,
So good.
84th and Layton, the corner?
Yeah, what was Steinhoffel's?
so
The big empty
I love
spot.
Sopas.
There is nothing planned there yet.
So who put
I
the,
continued
who put
to-
the
I-
article in the paper?
The journalist put the article in the paper,
Just to fill a space?
just,
Because it was true a year ago doesn't mean it's true now.
we don't know what's happening there yet, honestly. It's, the reality is right now, until interest rates come down,
It's tough.
the cost of construction and financing, commercial, office, any of that stuff, residential for that matter, is too high.
Restaurants are tough to finance in the first place.
Restaurants and hotels are very tough to finance in the first place. They're even more tough when the pro formas have higher interest rates that are double what they used to be, right? And construction costs are double what they used to be. So it's even more challenging. So the real issue, well, why is, you hear this constantly, why isn't anything being done on the corner? Why isn't this being done? Why isn't that being done? Why isn't Spring Mall being torn down? Why is nobody doing all this stuff? Why don't we have a target there? You know, right? Because those are all decisions that require capital,
Money.
someone that's willing to do that, and a willingness to take that chance. Right? It's not like,
Just go or one, or ROI.
it's not like buying a Coke at the gas station, right? Or, I worry about you sometimes. Just Mountain Dew at the gas station. So, I know.
What made Mandel's bid better? Or did the other one just drop out?
No, there were
They were
two.
both very good. It's a tough decision.
It was a very tough decision between the two. And I guess I have to kind of leave it at that. They were competitive, they were comparable. One focused on one kind of design, the other focused on the other kind of design. But at the end of the day, both could do both designs if they
Mandel's
needed
probably
to.
the
Wanna
biggest
address the needs
residential
first?
developer in the whole Milwaukee area.
One addressed some of the needs better than the other needs.
Do
I
you
mean, there
ever go to
continue to
West
be
Side
needs. He's talking about a fence
All
and he's
those new
talking
apartments?
about
No, I'm
the
actually,
restaurant.
I'm talking about, the restaurants possibly, acquisition of more land and.
Stuff like that.
and
I'm
things,
excited.
yeah.
Real good to work with.
It's very nice that both developers are top-notch,
We couldn't lose. It was a tough decision.
so.
No,
And
that's
I
a good
had
problem
worked
to
with the
have.
other
was.
developer too.
Absolutely. I'm just excited that's
And
gonna
we
be
got
developed.
great legal representation.
We had great legal representation.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Are we
By
there?
Weiss Is there a second? Oh, one other thing I just wanted to point out quickly. So with the turf skateboard park, it's been dialed back significantly, but Jeff Katz has been working diligently with our contractors, with, you know, getting a bid in place to try to get the bulls rehabilitated, to try to have the streetscape portion phase of the thing potentially built this year, if we can. It's out for bid to see where it's at. There is some money in the bank, kind of, and it's mostly in the form of park fees and revenues that we get that aren't tax related. I think those bids come back in February, if I'm not mistaken, the beginning of February. We're also engaged with a whole bunch of folks trying to have a turf benefit concert,
All right.
which would be in June. The date has, I think, I don't want to release it formally yet,
God,
but
they
it
have been
could
told to
include
not
up,
do
you know,
this during
5 to 10
meetings.
bands, local bands.
Nice.
It may have a headlining kind of band. That this is going to be very surfy, turfy kind of music, as opposed to, and I don't want to, like the 70s band that shows up that we tried.
Not country western.
It's not going to be country western. It's not going to be the, you know, I don't know.
Have a little more edge to it.
It's going to have a little bit more edge to it, but it's going to try to showcase the local bands to the extent we can. We're working through that.
Excellent.
We have a wonderful resident that lives in our city, whose name I can't really get into for reasons, who has very strong connections in the booking industry and band worlds,
And skateboarding.
and skateboarding. He used to surf at the turf. So there's a bunch of other people that are in the music scene in Milwaukee that also surf the turf, right? And it's kind of cool to see everyone kind of coming together to try to generate something that's unique for the city.
Talking
So,
about building
They say that
different stages
organically,
now,
kinda?
like,
so yeah, we're talking about phases. There won't be a building, right?
Okay.
The
Right
permanent.
away or ever?
So the building got the cost of this thing up to about $7 million, and I can't justify that, but if we can build the momentum by having the bowls there,
Sure.
creating a great streetscape, whatever they call it, then there are 2 other phases, having another bigger bowl on the outside, which is a little bit more user-friendly than the originals, which are
They're tight.
like black diamond ski hills,
Yeah,
honestly.
they're tight.
But what about?
they were-
Remember, I skated when I was a
Yeah.
kid,
So let
yeah.
me ask you this, is there a thought to, maybe there will be a building in the future and landscape for that building? Instead of like, oh, no, let's put bowls, like a building's never gonna be there, so
I
then we can
think the
think
provisions to
forward
build,
instead of.
if there
now.
was ever a building, the building would go over the bowls,
Sure, yes.
right? I don't think there's anything in our plan that prevents a building from going over the bowls. So
Prevent is different than planning for, so the
we are
ability
not,
to
we are
have
not,
that.
we are
have
not
that
putting
business.
footings in the ground, but when it comes to utilities and it comes to those kinds of things and access to a site where a building would be, that is being contemplated.
I would think this is.
We're being so the things that are expensive that aren't part of the concrete where people skate is putting power to the bowls, because there's gonna be pumps and sump pumps and things underneath them to make sure they don't fill with water, that have to go to storm sewers and all of that
Yeah,
other
yes,
stuff.
yeah,
That's
Sewer,
really,
water, you gotta bring in for lights.
so and there's also a road that's contemplated, if you were to pull up where Scooters was, and right, there's the right turn lane in there, and then there's gonna be a parking lot kind of adjacent to it. It doesn't have, we don't even know how big it has to be yet, because the state still hasn't told us, but we think it's not gonna have to be 150 stalls anymore. But there's gonna be a roadway that goes in there. In that roadway, there's gonna be water, sewer, storm sewer, all of that stuff. Provisions are being made so that if there's a bathroom or a building or whatever we can
Yes.
afford, and sump pumps that have to go to get the water out, all of those things are,
The infrastructure's being in place.
the
just
infrastructure's
for proper
being
staging is
placed
where
or
I'm
being contemplated to be installed when the property gets developed. It's complicated, right? It's not like, well, why can't we just go out there and,
No,
because it fills up with water, and that's a problem, right? And it's unsafe. But the plan is to get the bowls done, to have the streetscape done, probably to get a fence around it, and put temporary parking in near where Tripar or Victory was, somewhere over there. And that would be temporary, because that's where the road is ultimately gonna be, and whether that's a cul-de-sac, or that's a ring road, or it's a service driveway, we don't even know yet on the north side what it will be.
Like, porta potties at first.
Maybe porta
Tents,
pot.
porta potties?
Maybe
Yeah,
porta
food
potties,
truck.
maybe, I mean, it makes sense to have something there, right?
Yeah, food truck definitely would work.
I mean, one thing I just thought of is with the Loomis Road Bridge that you were contemplating, it would be nice to get conduit across it for our fiber network.
Yes.
Oh,
I never thought of that
Yeah,
until just now as I was
Wi-Fi
thinking.
would be a good thing.
So we could have our fiber get there, then we can have internet there, but we can also have surveillance and cameras
Right.
for porta potties that some kids don't
Well,
tip over.
or put inside
Not
a
that
bowl or.
Yeah,
Those rascals.
right?
Little rascals.
Yeah.
My boys.
Having been in a porta potty that was teetering once because somebody was messing with me, that's a scary thought, man.
sorry about that.
Have you
by the way.
seen?
I'll push it
it's
over
all
when
right,
you're
Jack.
in there.
Get that purple stuff on you, man.
I'll redo my
Skin
motion.
starts
to-
dissolving.
Thank you for that, but I'll redo my motion for adjournment.
By Weiss, seconded by Rogers. I encourage you all to keep your eyes open for the turf stuff, because it's,
Yeah, it looks good. We got the
I say
presentation
kinda like Battle of the Bands, but yeah.
at Parks, we got the presentation.
I think it's awesome.
these are
Motivating,
These are good if it holds true, the bands that we're getting
the videos.
are playing in places, they're not just kids in the,
Yeah,
the garage
they're,
or
they're
basement.
venue playing bands. yeah.
So they're venue playing bands, they're the next generation, Milwaukee's music scene is developing again. For a long time, there was a hiatus. When I was younger, there was a great scene.
Yeah.
I mean, an
They
amazing,
went underground during COVID, but they're coming back.
they're coming back and
They're coming to Greenfield.
and
maybe.
they may be
Oh,
coming
they
to
still
Greenfield
play.
and.
But they just went underground.
That's awesome.
So I need common council support without too much. The signs will be small, I promise you.
It'll be a temporary placement of this, and it'll eventually go to the turf location.
Mr. Mayor, we have a motion and a second.
Okay, we're still a public meeting, just a second.
I seconded.
Motion by Weiss, second by Kessler, all in favor, or
Aye.
Rogers, sorry, all in favor,
I got Rogers.
opposed, motion carries. If you can.